Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone. As you all know, this is Kalpana. I'm Today the agenda is about talking about the book Wisdom, which I learned from um, the Ramtha, the White Book, written by J.Z. Knight. So that is the book we'll be talking, and then we'll do the long meditation as it is a full moon day. So um, I'll start sharing what I learned from. I know this is a 21 chapters book. So I'll try to give very high level, but it is a very interesting. I know I haven't, I got this book in my hands back in 2019, but I started reading the first chapter and second chapter, and I couldn't understand, oh, what is he talking and all these things. I kept it aside. And finally, I think in May, we got a challenge saying that for this summer, let's have two books to read. So I said, okay, let's take this as a challenge for me to read this book. So luckily, I started this. As I was going through this book, it was so interesting. The conversations which happened between the student and Ramtha were as if I'm asking the questions. That was how I felt when I'm reading this book. So it's a beautiful book. Don't give up because first four chapters, I would say, um, it's like, what is this? What kind of book it is? We can't understand. But try to, if possible, the way I have read this book is I was listening to the audio and I was also reading the book in my hand. I have the physical book in my hand and I was listening to that audio. In that way, I could uh, focus more on the chapters and understand what they were saying. The narration is also helped me to make me focus on the chapters, how what they are saying and what how they are talking about, what kind of conversation it was. So it helped me in that way to motivate myself to go through each and every chapter because these are all 21 chapters are, I would say, are very interesting. And from each chapter, I have given a one single point so that everybody can um, get into that and have that knowledge about it so that when you start reading it, you will also get that encouragement to read. That's all my motive is. So please bear with me. If you have any questions, we'll give 5 minutes. I'll try to make sure we'll have 5 minutes before we start meditation. Okay. So this book is, as I was telling, Ramtha, the White Book. Even the book looks like a white page kind of thing. Only the pyramid was there on top of that. So the first thing the first chapter which they talks about is about the introduction, how Jay-Z Knight meets Ramtha when she was preparing um, pyramids. She was preparing pyramids and during afternoon time, and that's when a person stands right beside her and saying, "I'm Ramtha. I would like to teach you how to transform your life, to how to ascend." So that's how their interaction was started, and he starts um, uh, telling about who is he, and the next chapters how it goes. So I would say this is called chapter two, but I would say this is where the whole concept starts from. Who I am is what I would say is Ramta. He himself says that I am Ram. They call him as Ram, the historical conqueror who later ascended. A small history behind this because this is what Ramta was trying to tell during that time, where he's basically there were two Lumerians and Atlassians. Atlassians are very, how do you say, they are very technology kind of thing. They have everything in their hand, whereas Lumerians are the ones who always praise the unknown God. They don't know who is that. They are very poor at everything and they believe in God. They always have a belief in that God is helping them and they are getting everything based off of that. Um, so he Ramtha is from Lemurian family, whereas Atlassian families are somebody who are very, how do you say, like you can think of them as a kings, and they have everything. Whereas Lemurians, they don't have everything, they don't have anything. They will be surviving for food wherever they get, for whatever they do. And if so, his mom and he has a brother, mom, and her mom, the way they explain about how her mom was going through the trauma and all these things. Um, but basically, on a very high level, I'm saying is her mom, his brother, they were taken by the Atlassian people as a to serve them, whereas mother and sister, they died because of they don't have food, and he couldn't uh, burn them, like do the ceremonies for their mother and his sister, because if the Atlassian people during the night, if the sounds comes, they if they hear any kind of sounds or anything, they will try to put him in desert so that the eagles can eat him, pull his eyes. The way he was explaining all those things, it was that kind of hatred kind of thing happened to him against Atlassian people, the way they treated people in their society. So he got so mad about it. Why all these things are happening in my life? Why all people are suffering? So since he doesn't have anybody now, so he left the place and he was like, I want to see that unknown God, what people are talking about. So let me go. And he was walking for so many days to reach a top of a mountain to believing that there is a God over there. So he goes there, and right there, by the time he reaches that place, he gets so tired and he falls off. He didn't had food, or he didn't had any kind of um, thing by the time he reached there. He just falls down when he reaches there on top of that mountain. That time, he heard some voice saying that, Ramtha, have this sword and rule whichever place you want to. That's all she says, and she disappears. So he gets the sword, and he almost for 67 years, I would say, he was like a um, uh, he conquered so many places. He defeated everybody. He defeated the assassin people. He was the only person who was helping the Lumerians. So that's why all the Lumerian family members, kids, everybody are following him as he is conquering the lands. And as he was doing all these things, one day, I mean, like, there are so many stories behind it. I'm not going, I know it's not. But one important thing, what happened in this whole journey was like a old lady, like similar to what Buddha saw a old lady was dying in front of him, whereas everybody are going, the old lady, nobody is helping her, and the sun is coming, sun is coming, moon is coming on their respective times. Everybody are doing their own duties, nobody is giving anything. What is this? And that's when he felt that from the elements, like how do you say, the sun, moon, wind, with the help of these, he understood that it's an ongoing process which is happening in the nature. And uh, why I mean, like, why sun doesn't have a death, why moon doesn't have a death, why wind doesn't have a death, how they are working, why can't I be in that stage? That was one thing which caused him to think about I mean, like, how we can ascend. That's the that's the initiation of his life, from conquering the lands to uh, go forward into this spirituality. That's when every time he is like trying to get into, almost like 5 years, I would say, he was trying to work with the wind, how he can be with the wind, whenever he wants to talk with the wind, he needs to be with the wind. So he does those small, small experiments and he becomes part of it. That's how he ascended. So he's still there. That's what he says. I'm still here. I'm trying to teach this story. I mean, like, not story, this process to everybody. That's my goal. And that's why I'm here to teach you to JZ Knight. And with JZ Knight, you all can hear about it. That's the reason we have written this book. That's what that whole um, the chapter I'm Ramtha. That's what he was trying to say in that chapter. It's all about, as you can see, um, the identity. Like he's he, everybody will be suffering, but after suffering, if you try to understand what is my goal, what I need to do, how I need to, that whole process comes from the suffering. So don't think that suffering is something which is happening only for you. Suffering can happen for everybody. From that suffering, what you are learning. That's what even Bhagavad Gita says the same thing. Even Ramtha says, even in this book. And even if you observe, I don't know if anybody read that Jonathan Living Seagull, even there also it's a similar kind of. So as I was reading all these things, I was connecting dots here and there. But that is the first chapter, which is all about Ramtha. Okay, and then we'll move on to when you were my people. He's saying when you all are my people, with the you all were with me. I just want I just came here to tell you all that you don't need to worship me. That's the main. This is one thing which I liked in this chapter where he says you don't need. I didn't came in front of with a shape like a picture. I don't want to have a picture about myself. Otherwise, you start worshipping me also. That's what happening nowadays. So I don't want you all to worship me with my photo or any kind of picture or anything. Instead, learn, get the knowledge, and and learn how to get your freedom out of it. L- Knowledge is the most, and I'm pretty sure yesterday in Saroja's ma'am also she said, along with meditation, knowledge is important. So if you have the knowledge, then only you will get the freedom, and then only you will get rid of the fears. That's the next things which he'll be talking about. But I'll just giving. He's trying to say that I'm I'm here to teach this knowledge, and please take this knowledge from me. That's the main point he was trying to say in this chapter. And there was a few things, as I was telling n- most of the people go with the I want to worship a person with a picture or statue or any kind of thing. So don't go with that. Everything is within you. That's what the next chapter, God is. The uh, Here he talks about what God is. It's a totality of existence rather than a judging being. So everybody says that there is a person who will be judging me, who will be watching from there. Um, During my childhood, they used to, oh, don't do that. God will be observing you. Oh, you did a good job. God gave you positive points. This is how we used to hear from our elders. But then here, Ramdas says, God is not somebody who is judging you. He has love. All he has is love. He's making sure that same love he gives to everybody, and he doesn't judge anybody. That's the quality of a God. So, how you want to have the next chapter again, Behold God, which is about how you can be with the God. So, everybody thinks that the God is in a temple or somewhere. No, the God is within you. Every person has that. It, it exists in every person. The thoughts, emotions, these are the powerful influences which are there in your life, which are created by every, I mean, like every person has those great qualities, how you use it. Like he specifically says, your attitude. Your attitude is the most important thing, which will which will lead you to the next level, the next chapter, which is about life after life. Here he says that based on the attitude what you have in the previous chapter, he was saying about the attitude. That attitude is what you will come into the based on those attitudes, your next life will be. So everything is a experience. So every experience, what you have gained from previous, the remaining is what you'll be doing in your next life. So we always think death is something we are done. So he also says the same thing. It's not it's not an ending. It's a transition from one life to another. We are leaving the physical body, but there are he talks about seven planes. Basically, we are in the third dimensions. The next one is how you behave. Like if you have love energies, you'll be living into the fifth level, fifth plane. If you are living as a oneness person, you'll be in the seventh plane. So he talks about those planes, but I'm just giving on a very high level what these are. As you can see, he's giving each and every chapter, all he's trying to say is simple thing, like one after the other. Where is God? How we can, what are the God qualities? Where you can find God, and how you behave, and then um, death. So before going into the death, he talks about creation and evolution. The creation is what, this is something which I really love this chapter where he talks about. I really like the way how he explains. And for each and every chapter, there were beautiful conversations between Ramtha and student. That's where I was so impressed, because those are the questions every human being has that. Like um, the first, third chapter or fourth chapter, where I'll be thinking, he always says God as a father. So I'll be like, why he keep on saying father? Why can't the God is not? Why he keeps saying masculine part of it, not the feminine part. Then one of the student asked, why you are keep on saying father, don't you think? So that is how you are thinking. When I say father, it's not masculine or feminine. For me, it's a easy easiness. He says that entity, it's there is no masculine and for a feminine kind of thing. It is there. That's it. That's how I'm treating. That is how I'm thinking. That doesn't mean you are also thinking in the same way. Everybody has their own perspective. So that kind of conversations in each and everything. For death also, he says the similar kind of thing. I want to see one person. So he says about that conversation. The creation is where he talks about um, uh, like the way you so as an example, the way you think is, we all know, the way you think is what you get. So what you sow is what you get. So the same way, when you get a thought, you'll the thought is coming from your mind, and you have a emotion towards it. That emotion is what gets connected to the soul. Soul gets that experience. When the soul get that experience, that is registered over there, saying that whenever that same kind of thing happens, you won't think anything, oh, this thing. Then the soul will be like, you had this experience previously, let me give you that. If you keep on getting the same kind of thought, that is what you are putting your experience. So how to change that thought is based on you, how you put your attitude, how you think, how you do. So that is what he talks about creation and evolution. Um, and there are the next chapter he talks about the angels. We are higher than angels. We always think that angels are that is again another interesting one he talks, where everybody thinks, oh, angels will be helping me. Yes, they will be helping, but higher than angels, human life, because we have emotions, we have experiences, we have knowledge, we have wisdom. And here again, Ramtha says the same thing. I'm giving the knowledge. Until unless you practice it, then only it becomes wisdom. So these are all concepts I'm pretty sure everybody heard from Patri sir too. But um, in this also, Ramtha clearly explains with an example. I mean, like example in the sense, conversation with a student. So, in the next chapter, it is called the identifiable God. The how can you identify God? Where is he, and how you know about his qualities and all this thing. So then that's the thing where he talks about self-awareness. If you give self-respect to yourself, like how you are taking care of your time to do meditation, or how you cook, how you take care of your family, how you take care of your society, community, or friends, or anything. You're putting some effort for yourself to do some improvement. That is what you are. You are identifying yourself is nothing but you are identifying the God within you. So when you have that, always the next chapter is about love, where he talks about uh, God has given the greatest gift for all of us is the love. So if you love your self love, he talks about self love. When you take care of yourself, and that same love you can share with others, that's how you will feel you are gaining the knowledge from him and you are connecting with him. So the way when he explains all these things, if you observe, you can think how our chakras are linked to, like in the first level we are in the survival fear and trying to achieve something, making sure we are able to do. And when you then you will be connecting to your heart, which is love energy, and then the truth comes in to talk properly about the what is the truth. The next chapter is all about truth. Truth is presented in such a way that he explains, when you have that experience, you will try to say that truth to other person, and then the other person um, start questioning about, oh, how did you achieve this? Then he brings up a belief system into his thoughts, how he can achieve it. So that is how you will be spreading the truth. And then um, the higher level, the third eye, which is nothing but you are connecting to the oneness and giving that unconditional love to everybody. And the last one, it is all about you are connected to the oneness. You are with the universe. You are the God. So that's what he was also trying in each and every. That's how I got connected when he was explaining one after the other chapters, how people have forgotten. The next one is all about everybody are forgotten. The divinity is within us. We always seek uh, the joy. If I do that, I'll be happy. We are running around the desires, but the true happiness comes when you are living in this present moment, saying that, yes, I have everything. I am living happily in this moment. Don't go to the past or to the future. That doesn't mean that you don't need to design your future, but don't run around those two things. Instead, live happily, live joyfully in this present moment. That is some of the points, and I believe yeah, let me make sure I didn't. Yeah, the last few chapters are very interesting. That's when I got connected. Like he talks about reincarnation. Reincarnation happens because, again, as I was telling, right, as we talked about, you are getting the experience against any kind of thought. You are putting some emotion, and that emotion gets connected to the soul as an experience. So these are nothing but uh, if you are not completed with those, then you will be going into the next incarnation where you want to start. So that is reincarnation. And the last two or three chapters, he talks about closed mind, opening the mind, which are nothing but, if you observe Joe Dispenza, when I was reading that, I felt that this is something Joe Dispenza might have been done too, because in that he talks about you need, when you are doing meditation, you need to go into that zero level where you don't have any thoughts in your mind. You'll go into, people call it as void, people call it as zero level. Ramtha calls it as closed mind. When you are in that mind, you can manifest whatever, because your frequency and the um, God frequency is what he says. Those two frequencies are at the same level, and you can easily uh, I mean, like, you can easily manifest whatever the thought you release, it gets manifested. That's how this whole uh, planet, whole system, everything got created, is what um, Ramtha says in this book. When you are, and the next thing, opening the mind, you should be very open to take new opportunities. You don't need to be, oh, he says, like, if anybody says, do you don't know about this knowledge, then we'll be, I don't know. That's how I used to react. And then the student was saying, if I don't know, I would say, I don't know. Then Ramta says, if you keep on saying, I don't know, then you don't know. Instead, say that, yes, I know, I'm learning, I'm getting that knowledge. That's how he always tries to say, always say yes towards yourself. In that way, you will gain the knowledge. Don't say, I don't know. That is an interesting point he talks about. And I know it's already 9:30, so I'll give the important things which I got connected with this are um, your thoughts, how your thoughts are, for each and every thought, a, be aware what kind of emotion you are putting towards that thought is one thing. God is nowhere within you is what the other point. And when you are suffering, don't feel that why I am getting this suffering. Instead, experience that. That is also an experience. Live fully in that moment and don't judge anybody. Love yourself and don't judge yourself. Don't feel guilty. Those kind of things. And the other points are like this spiritual growth is not something which will happen within in in a span of time or anything. It takes time, so have the patience to go through that. He was like playing around with the wind, how to be with the wind for almost 5 years. So he says, don't give up, have that patience to build up, um, to build that process. Always open, be open to um, learn new things, do new opportunities, to get the experience. Make sure you are gaining the knowledge. Once you gain the knowledge, practice it. Then only it becomes the wisdom. So these are some of the high level points which I felt, which are really. Oh yeah, I forgot one more thing. I was thinking. The other part is fear. He talks about fear. Always, if you have fear, you are limiting your things. If you have knowledge, you're expanding. So that's another important point which I forgot to tell. So I thought to share that. With that, I'm pretty sure I covered most of the things what I have. And yeah, that's about it. We'll